Hi guys, how is it going? So this is another Kubernetes exam practice. The requirement here is to basically create a deployment that meets the following specification below, and we need to expose the deployment using a nodeport service. So um, a namespace called pizza has already been created, and the name of the deployment is pizza deployment. So the deployment, we have 3 replicas, and this is the image that we are going to use, and the image has this tag, and we need to run some command, this command, and these the arguments that need to be provided. And we need to expose the pod to port 80 and basically configure the liveness probe on this port. So if there is a failure, so the port should basically, the container should restart automatically if there's a failure on this directory. So this is going to be HTTP on this directory on port 8081. And there's another requirement for readiness probe as well on port 80 on this part. And we need to create a pizza service. And as they mentioned here earlier, it's got to be a nodeport service. And so we need to expose, we need to make sure that the service is exposed externally by listening on port 30,080. So this is going to be the node ports. So an environment has been set up for us, right? And username and password has been provided. So all we need to do is basically SSH into the Linux machine that's been provided. This is the IP address that we need to use. So it's recommended to do this in incognito window. So what I'm going to do is try to open the instant terminal. If I go back, I'll try to open this in private window. I'm using Microsoft Edge browser. So we open this one, another window. And so what I'm going to do is basically put this one side and this one side. And I will try to scroll down and get the information. So we need to log in as this user. So I'm going to do SSH username at the host name, and I'm going to enter. I'm going to accept that, and I'm going to copy and paste the password. Now that we have SSH into the server, the next thing is to start with this task. So I'm going to create an alias for cook control. That would be cook. So it's easier for me that way. So let me try this. So I'm going to say cook control create deployment. And the name of the deployment is going to be pizza deployment. And I'm going to say the replicas is is equal to 3. And I'm going to also say the image. I will copy this image and paste here. And I will provide the tag of 1.14.6, this tag. And the next thing I need to specify is the namespace where this deployment needs to be created. So the namespace is called pizza. And I'm not going to execute this command yet. I want to send the output to a file in YAML format. So to not execute it, I will specify driver equal to environment. I will send it to pizza.yaml. So if I go to pizza.yaml now, and I can do some editing there. So we've got the selector, we've got the replicas. What we need is some properties within the container. So we need to specify the command that needs to be run there. So this command needs to be provided and this argument needs to be provided as well. So I'm going to specify the command. It's going to be a list of commands. But in this case, we've only got engines and the arguments going to be apps. And we've got, I just copy and paste. And the next thing is basically the liveness probe. So this is to make sure that the container gets started to the request to this field. So I'm going to go down here and say liveness probe. So so here, since we want to make a get request to this directory, heads directory, I'm going to say http gets, and I'm going to specify the paths. Path is /heads else, yeah, else. Then the next thing is to specify the port number. Port is 8081. And the other probe that we need to specify is the readiness probe on this port number. So say readiness probe. So this is basically before the port starts running. So you basically check that directory on that port number. If it passes, then the port will be the container will be run. If it doesn't pass, it's going to fail. So it won't get to the point where the container needs to be run. So this is going to get it wet. To specify parts. It's // and ports. Port is port 80. Also, I forgot to specify something earlier. So here we need to expose the pod to this port. So I'm going to specify ports here. I'm going to say container ports is port 80. So that part is done. And OS. So I think that is it for the updates. I'm going to save this file and and use group control I inside the YAML to create the deployment. So deployment is created if I take get namespace or deploy or namespace. So and for some reason they are not ready. So if I say get uh, video, okay, just one is the containers have been created. One of them is ready now. All of them are ready, so they are all running now. So the next stage is to so this is for the uh, deployment. The next stage is to create the service and a node port service and expose it to we have a port 80 and the node port is going to be 13,080. So to create a node port service, I'm going to create SVC, and the SVC type is going to be node ports, and the name of that SVC is going to be beta-service. And this is going to use uh, node ports of equal to 3008, and and uh, this is going to have a port number of so what I'm going to do is specify the node ports. Let me see if I can specify the ports 30 and 80. I'm going to um, send this one to you. I don't want to run it yet, so I'm going to say client auto client and send it to pizza, or just call it SBC. It failed because of that first. I'm going to say create SVC node ports help. So let me see what I've got. Create node ports. I can specify the TCP. I'm wondering if I can specify just one port. Just the TCP. What I'm going to do is specify the TCP and edit it later. So I'll say TCP equal to 80.4 to 8. Now I can say connected. I can say VI SBC.YAML. So what I'm going to call this one is I'm going to call this one I don't know, let me just call it 80. The non-port is that this is the ports. I don't actually need these target ports, but I guess it's fine if it's there. But that is all I need. Also, I need to specify the selector. So the selector is going to be pizza deployment. So if I the reason it's going to be that is, let me save this and show you. So if I say hey get field namespace pizza and show labels. So it show me the label of the pod, right? So for each of the pod, the pod that deployment created, it has this label app equal to pizza deployment. So what I'll do is I'll copy this and open the file again and use variable inside the selector property. So I say app colon and inside deployment. So I'll save this one. Now create the service K and apply F svc.yam. So also I forgot to okay, let me say KGet svc. So this one supposed to be created within the Pixar namespace. I forgot to specify the namespace. So what I'll do is delete it from there. Delete svc Pixar Pixar service. Okay, delete delete. So it's been deleted. Let me edit the file again. svc.yam. So I need to specify the namespace where this service needs to be created. The namespace is pizza. So let's try again. Now, get svc. It's not in the default namespace. So let me specify the pizza space. So it's in pizza namespace. You can see it's listening on port 80 and exposed externally on port 30,080. So now let's test this one. So if I say K execute IT and we specify the one of the port name and specify the namespace pizza. And I want to execute a command for apps updates. So wait. Exec IT say this is not found. Okay, CC. It's missing one C. So it's connecting now. So it does give some error here, but at the end it says all packages are up to date. So what I want to do is basically try to use call on the localhost port 3080. That's what I get. So I get a response. So it's working as expected now. So what I can do is basically so I'm going to expand this. I think all my work is done. So I'm going to say they actually provided the solution here. So I'm going to say mark complete. So these are the command that need to. This is basically the configurations. And so what else? I think this is correct. Okay, yeah, and this one as well. Just mark that one as complete. And we mark all of this as complete lab. I like the code cloud one better because as you are working on the task, you can basically you can automatically check all you've done and mark it as failed or correct for you. But this is different on Pluralsight sites. Yeah, thank you for guys for watching. I hope this is helpful. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe button, and leave your comments. Have a lovely day and goodbye.